The great hall of the Galactic Council stretched across 5 kilometers of polished crystal. Inside, 300 species gathered to discuss the newest members of their ancient alliance. Today, they talked about humans. Commander Veek of the Terran Empire stood at the central platform. His 4 arms crossed over his armored chest. His species had ruled the Eastern Spiral for 10,000 years. He did not look impressed. These creatures, Vex said, pointing at the hologram of a human, are weak. Look at them. 1 sun, 1 planet, no natural armor, no poison, no telepathy. They break easily. The council chamber filled with clicking sounds. It was how most species showed agreement. Earth's ambassador, a man named Jack Stone, stood in the visitors section. He said nothing. He had learned that arguing here was useless. Their bones crack under pressure, added Senator Mora, a floating being of pure energy. Their skin tears. They need special suits just to visit our worlds. Why did we accept them? Because of the treaty, replied High Judge Rao. The old insect-like being rarely spoke. When he did, others listened. They discovered faster-than-light travel on their own. The law is clear. They have the right to join. A mistake in the law, Vec muttered. Jack Stone kept his face calm. He had heard worse in the 3 months since Earth joined the Council. Most species here had evolved on high-gravity worlds. They were stronger, tougher. They had natural weapons. Humans had none of these things, but Jack remembered something his grandmother used to say. The strongest tree is not always the one that survives the storm. Sometimes it is the one that bends. Suddenly, alarms rang through the hall. Every screen lit up with emergency signals. A voice boomed across the chamber. Attention! Priority alert! Colony World Petra 7 is dying. Repeat, Petra 7 is dying. The council members rushed to their stations. Jack pulled up the data on his tablet. What he saw made his blood run cold. Petra 7 was home to 15 million people, mostly Terrans, but also 10 other species. A solar flare had destroyed their power grid. Life support was failing. They had maybe 48 hours. We must send ships, someone shouted. Impossible, Vec replied. The solar radiation is too strong. Our shields cannot handle it. Any ship that goes there will burn. What about the Mora? Another voice asked. Our energy forms would disperse in that radiation, Senator Mora answered. We cannot help. One by one, every species explained why they could not mount a rescue. The radiation was too deadly. The heat too extreme. The time too short. Jack listened to them all. He checked the numbers on his tablet again and again. Then he stood up. Earth volunteers, Jack said. The hall went silent. 300 species turned to look at him. Vec actually laughed. You? The commander said. Your fragile species? You will die before you reach orbit. Maybe, Jack replied. But we have to try. This is foolish, Mora said. You will throw away lives for nothing. Your ships are not advanced enough. Your shields are weak. Your people cannot survive that environment. Then 15 million people will die anyway, Jack said. His voice was steady. At least we can try. That is what humans do. Let them go, Vex said with a dismissive wave. Let them learn their place in the galaxy. Perhaps watching their failure will teach them humility. High Judge Rao looked at Jack for a long moment. You understand this is almost certainly death? For everyone you send? Yes, Jack said. And you still choose this? Yes. The judge's mandibles clicked slowly. Then go. The council will watch. Perhaps we will learn something today, though I fear it will only be the limits of human courage. Jack left the hall quickly. He had calls to make. Earth needed to mobilize fast. He knew the odds. Every calculation showed failure. The radiation would fry their ships. The heat would kill his people. They had old technology and weak shields. But Jack also knew something the Council did not. Something they could not understand because they had never needed it. Humans had spent their entire history surviving impossible situations. They had crossed frozen continents and burning deserts. They had climbed the highest mountains and dove to the deepest oceans. They had split the atom and touched the stars. The galaxy was about to learn what desperation and hope could accomplish when combined with human stubbornness. The rescue mission launched 6 hours later. Asterisk. Captain Lisa Webb watched the radiation readings climb as her ship. The horizon pushed deeper into the solar storm. Behind her, 9 more human vessels followed in tight formation. Each one carried supplies, medical teams, and engineers. Each one was flying straight into hell. Captain, shields at 60%. Her pilot, Tom Reed, called out. "We are still 3 hours from Petra 7. Lisa nodded. She had expected this. Human shields were not as advanced as Terran technology. But they had one advantage. They were simple, easy to repair, easy to modify. All ships, this is Horizon. Lisa spoke into the com. Begin rotation pattern Delta. Keep your weak side away from the sun. Cycle your shields every 10 minutes. Across the galaxy, the Council watched through long-range sensors. In the Great Hall, the massive screens showed the human fleet crawling through the radiation storm. Their shields are failing already, Vex said. He sounded satisfied. They will not make it another hour. But the humans kept going. When one shield section overheated, they shut it down and powered up another. When hull plating started to melt, they vented coolant from their reserves. They rotated their ships constantly, spreading the damage across all surfaces. Clever, High Judge Ral said quietly. They are buying time with rotation. It will not be enough, Mora replied. On Petra 7, Governor Turk watched the sky. He was a Terran, like Commander Vec. His colony was dying. The power grid was gone. Life support would fail in 30 hours. He had sent his family to the deepest shelters. It would give them maybe 6 more hours. When he heard that humans were coming, he thought it was a joke. Humans? The weak ones? The fragile species that needed protection from everything? But now he saw their ships on his sensors. Battered, earning, but still coming. Governor, his assistant said, the humans are hailing us. Turk opened the channel. A human woman appeared on screen. She looked tired. Her uniform was stained with sweat. Governor Turk, this is Captain Webb. We are 2 hours out. Send us your population centers. We will begin evacuation immediately upon arrival. Captain, Turk said slowly, you cannot land here. The surface temperature is 200 degrees. The radiation will kill your people in minutes. I know, Lisa said. We are working on that problem now. Send the coordinates. The channel closed. Turk stared at the blank screen. These humans were insane. On the horizon, Lisa gathered her team. We cannot survive outside for more than 5 minutes. Our suits are not good enough. So we need to work fast. Very fast. How fast? Tom asked. Each shuttle run gets people to the ships. We rotate crews every 4 minutes. Medics treat radiation sickness between runs. We keep going until everyone is off that planet, or we are all dead. Nobody argued. They had known the risks before they left Earth. They had volunteered anyway. The first shuttle touched down on Petra 7 40 minutes later. The pilot, a woman named Kate Park, felt the heat through the hull. Her suit alarms were already screaming. She ignored them. Load up. Move, move, move. She shouted. 30 Terran colonists rushed into her shuttle. They were twice her size, stronger, tougher, But right now, they needed her. Kate lifted off after 3 minutes. Her skin felt like it was on fire. The radiation counter on her suit was deep in the red. She did not look at it. In the Great Hall, the council watched in silence. Shuttle after shuttle landed. Humans rushed out, loaded colonists, and flew back. Some humans collapsed. Others took their place. They worked without stopping. Their people are dying, someone whispered. But they do not stop, another replied. Commander Vec stood frozen. He watched a human medic carry 2 Terran children to safety. The medic's suit was melting. The human fell after reaching the ship. Another human dragged him inside and took his place. 8 hours passed. The human ships were barely flying. Half their crews were in medical bays fighting radiation poisoning. But they kept going. After 16 hours, Governor Turk sent a message. All colonists evacuated. Repeat, all 15 million are safe. The human fleet turned away from Petra 7. 7 of the 10 ships had to be towed. The other 3 were running on emergency power. In the Great Hall, nobody spoke. They had watched the entire rescue. They had seen humans push past every limit. They had seen them succeed where every other species had said was impossible. High Judge Rao broke the silence. Perhaps we were wrong about humans. Three days later, Jack Stone stood before the Galactic Council again. This time, the hall was different, silent, respectful. The human fleet had made it back to council space. Barely. 2 ships were total losses. 347 humans were dead. Another 1,000 were fighting radiation sickness in medical stations across the galaxy. But 15 million people from Petra 7 were alive. Commander Vec approached the human ambassador. His 4 arms were no longer crossed. He stopped in front of Jack and did something no one expected. He bowed. I was wrong, Vec said. His voice carried across the hall. I called your people weak. I called them fragile. I said they would fail. I was wrong about everything. Jack felt a lump in his throat. He thought about Lisa Webb, still in a medical pod fighting for her life. He thought about Kate Park, who had lost both legs to radiation burns, but had smiled when they told her all the colonists survived. He thought about the 42 pilots who had made 1 run too many and never came back. We did what anyone would do, Jack said quietly. No, High Judge Rao spoke from his platform. You did what no one else could do. We must understand this. The Council has studied your mission. We want to know how you succeeded. Your technology is weaker than ours. Your shields failed faster. Your ships barely functioned. Yet you won. How? Jack looked around the hall. 300 species watched him, waiting for an answer. May I show you something? Jack asked. The judge nodded. Jack activated his tablet. Images appeared on the great screens. Pictures of Earth, deserts, frozen tundra, deep oceans, high mountains. This is our world, Jack said. We have no natural weapons, no armor, no poison. We are not the strongest or the fastest, but we survived on a planet that tried to kill us every single day. He changed the image. Now it showed human history. Tribes crossing ice ages, explorers sailing unknown seas, scientists splitting atoms, astronauts walking on the moon. We learned something that other species never needed to learn, Jack continued. We learned that survival is not about being strong. It is about refusing to give up. It is about finding solutions when there are no solutions. It is about helping each other when everything says we should run away. Governor Turk stepped forward. The Terran leader had asked to speak. I watched humans die to save my people, Turk said. His voice shook. I am twice their size. My bones are 3 times stronger. My skin can survive temperatures that would cook them. But when my world was dying, I could do nothing. I waited for death. The humans did not wait. They fought. He turned to face the council. I saw a human medic carry my children to safety. Her suit was melting. She was dying. But she smiled at them. She told them everything would be okay. Then she went back for more. I will never forget that. Senator Mora floated forward. The being of pure energy pulsed with different colors. I have existed for 3,000 years. I have seen empires rise and fall. But I have never seen what I saw 3 days ago. Humans have something we have forgotten. They have hope. Even when logic says to give up, they hope. And somehow, that hope makes the impossible possible. The clicking sound filled the hall again. But this time, it was different. It was not mockery. It was respect. High Judge Rao stood. The council has made a decision. Earth will receive full membership status. Not junior membership. Full status. With all rights and responsibilities. Furthermore, human rescue and medical teams will train other species. Perhaps we can learn what you know. Jack felt tears on his face. He did not hide them. There is one more thing, Beck said. He approached Jack again. We have a name for what happened at Petra to 7. We call it the Day of Human Fire. The day when humans showed the galaxy that true strength is not about power. It is about courage, about sacrifice, about refusing to let others die when you can help, no matter the cost. Jack thought about the empty chairs in the human ships, the friends who would never come home, the families waiting for news that would break their hearts. We did not do it for glory, Jack said. We did it because it was right. We know, the judge replied. That is why we will remember it forever. Welcome to the galaxy, humans. Welcome home. The great hall erupted in sound. 300 species honored the small, fragile creatures who had taught them what real strength meant. Earth's children had earned their place among the stars, not through power, but through the very thing that made them human, their unwillingness to give up, their refusal to abandon others. Their hope, and the galaxy would never see them the same way again. The end asterisk.